Let's start as an introduction. So this webinar is the fourth webinar of the SOAP, if I can say it like this. We are thinking of additional webinar on new topics during May or maybe beginning June, because even if the lockdown is going to end in most of countries, I'm sure that most of us will keep on working from home. So we are thinking about organizing webinars to introduce you to new topics, typically plugins that we are developing for VMS and app maintenance also, and also other topic. So the webinar today is dedicated to alarm management in AppVision. We wanted to have one more technical webinar on this side. We had the more two first webinars dedicated to vertical market, smart buildings, smart cities. The third one also to market, which was the access control market and our app control module. And this one is going to be, I would say, more technical. That's why I will only do the introduction and then get the floor to Nicolas. Nicolas, which is the technical director of Prism, in charge of the support, which means support, training, and doing tests, doing writing documentation. So a lot of skills behind this support team, and he will make you the presentation. I just want to do a short introduction about alarm management in AppVision. Okay, the agenda to introduce you to the different alarm management procedures that exist in AppVision. Typically, the most common is links. How do I create links starting triggered by an alarms? Nicola will show you about workflows. We will show you an example of alarm correlation, which is not properly a feature in AppVision, but something you can create by scripting. And in the new version of AppVision, which is going to be released after lockdown, the v4.6, we have another way of managing alarms and more events, which are scenarios. And then we'll talk about the future. After this small introduction, we'll give the hand to Nicholas. So here the links is something that AppVision users know very well. So Nicola is going to show you how it is simple to create links with the configurator tool, following alarm triggering. So how you can do a lot of things with that. And we have multi examples available in our demo vertical. Nicolas will choose one or two and show you how this links, what is shown you in the configuration tool is implemented and is doing in the demo vertical. The workflows, just the same thing. Nicolas will show you how to create workflows with the configurator tool. Just know that it's also possible when we are talking about workflows to integrate external business process management tools. We know that we have some partners that were using BPM tools for internal use in their company or for other business, and have decided to manage workflows. So I cannot disclose information like this because first I don't have it fully and I don't know if I have the right, but some people of the company have seen it working, so it's also interesting to know that you have this possibility. We have also some partners which are thinking about developing also a workflow-like a feature using our SDK. The alarm correlation is mainly to change the severity level of an alarm based on other alarms. To say, how can I secure a specific zone with 2 system, 2, 3, 4, 5 system, and how can I have an effect on the severity level of the alarm to make it appear first. The scenario, it's a new option, as I say, in the v4.6. There is an example that Nicola will show you. The idea is really to create scenarios, just like a film. It creates links. It's links of links, if I have well understood under condition. But the main idea is to say, I really want to create some scenarios. Some words about the future. We are thinking anyway, even if the 4.6 is not released today because of the lockdown, and we have some tests to perform that we cannot do until we are locked down. So we need some additional tests before releasing it. But we are thinking about on the roadmap with the new incident management features, because multiple alarms can correspond to the same incident. Typically, you can have a fire start detected by, of course, smoke detectors, but also thermal cameras. And if all the systems are connected to AppVision, they will create multiple alarms, but at the end it's only one incident. So we need now to be able to gather these alarms in one incident and stock and export all related data as one incident and not attached to each alarms. So it's planned in the v4.7, which will be released clearly next year, 2021. But if you need it today, we have a partner that has already developed similar features that will inspire us for developing the one in AppVision. So we can connect you to this partner if needed. We will improve ergonomy of existing. Oh, there is still a sentence in French which has not been translated. Sorry for that. So the future is also improving what we have today. Clearly, the workflow features has to be improved. So we have received a lot of feedback on it, and when Nicolas is going to work on this and to sum it up and to transmit it to the development team to see how we can improve the workflow features. The scenario features will of course be improved, because at this stage it has been tested by few beta testers. So when it will be released with the 4.6, we will have a much larger feedback that we can use. And anyway, we count on you. All feedback and ideas on alarm management are welcome. Some of you had the chance to use it. Maybe some of you had the chance also to see what other tools can do and what could be interesting to not to copy but to integrate into AppVision, because it could make your life easier. It's all really interesting for us to get all this feedback and ideas, because it's thanks to you that we can improve the tool, and we really want you to be involved in that now. So that's the end for the introduction. I stop sharing my screen.
Okay, thank you, David. Okay, so I will start with the beginning. So with the alarm management in AppVision, I will use the demo vertical, you know, to explain you some part of alarm management. So the first one will be to show you the links, okay? The links and also the normal alarm procedure. So here, let's show you. Here you get an alarm between one detector and you have a link with one camera. So this has been done by links. You have different ways to do it, but in our example, we have a dedicated container we want to use to display our alarms, and I will explain you how we did implement that in the links. First of all, in alarm management process, you have the acknowledgement. Acknowledgement can be used as a trigger to display instructions. So you already know that we can put instruction writing some words, some explanation, write them directly in the alarm tab of the variable, but you can also make a link to a PDF file. So this is what you can see on my screen. You can see that now you can create your own PDF instruction file and use it to display instruction to the operator. So this is one of the feature we will provide in version 4.6. So I will show you in the configurator how to make the link to this type of PDF file. So reporting, alarm management, you can request a report from the user. You can also, as you know, use some predefined reports. So it's in addition. You you can ask the operator to write some part of the report and to choose other parts. So the details and events give you more information about this alarm. Okay, so here you will get some important information like the date of the beginning of the alarm, the acknowledgement time, who did acknowledge also, which can be important, and who did manage this alarm. Of course, you can link one or more than one cameras to your alarm and be able, after alarms, to get the playback of the sequence corresponding to your detector alarm. So remember, we don't record in AppVision. We ask the VMS to give us the playback of this sequence. Thanks to values of pre-alarm and post-alarm, we can set directly in the configurator of AppVision. The last tab is a possibility to attach some files. So PDF file, text file, it's up to you. If you have a PDF file, you will have a preview directly in the tab. This attachment tab will also be used to make a link between a snapshot of the camera. I don't know if all of you were at the webinar we did for the version 4.6, but at that time, we did show you an example of a snapshot. A snapshot will be able, if we can get the possibility to send a command to the driver of the integration to start a snapshot. So it means it will be done through the driver. And the driver will request a snapshot at the time of this alarm and will add, inside the attachment tab, will add the JPEG file of the snapshot corresponding to your camera. So this is the normal alarm management. I will switch to the configurator to explain you how have been implemented these different parts. So let me close my alarm. And now let's go to the configurator. So I will share this part, the configurator. So on my screen, you can see my zone 10001, sorry. This is the status variable. This one which has alarm, okay. This one generates an alarm and you get alarm options. So acknowledgement, request of a report. So it means it's mandatory. And instruction. So remember, we did open a PDF file for instruction. So here, you will be able to write directly the link to your PDF file. That's all. And in that case, the PDF file will directly be displayed in the instruction tab of your alarm. I come back to explain you some part of alarm management. So alarm management requests an acknowledgement from the operator to give you the information to know when the operator did see this alarm, okay? You can also, as you can see, have different options like severity of this alarm. So the severity is the importance level you give to an alarm. So by default, it's between 1 and 100, and by default, we set the value 50. So you can already use your own values, okay? The importance of the alarm severity is that you can do an escalation of this severity. So it means you can increase the level of severity of an alarm for some reason, for some triggers. A trigger can be, one most used, I would say, is acknowledgement delay, before escalation. So it means that you will be able to use this trigger. Imagine you set 1 minute, okay, so 60 seconds. If I set 60 seconds here, it means if my alarm has not been acknowledged in this 60 seconds, we will increase the alarm severity level from 50 to 50 plus the offset. And here the offset is 10. So my alarm will be, after 60 seconds, if it has not been acknowledged, will go to the value 60. Okay, so it can be useful because, as you know, you can use the severity level to manage the display of your client station. So I mean, you can filter alarm lists for each user profile. So for each client station, you can have a dedicated client station for high threat level, for example, which is more than 60 or equal to 60, and you can filter this client station to this value. So only alarms with a value 60 will be displayed in this client station. So this is how you can use the alarm escalation. The next part I want to show you here is the links. Remember, I told you that we did, I will not save, that we did a link between the camera and our detector alarm to display the camera in a specific container, okay? So you know that by default you can use our automatic open alarm option, but you can also use a link. I will show you that it's not difficult to manage a link. The link we use is this one. The link is here to avoid you to do scripting to create your trigger and actions scenario. What is a link? A link is a description. Okay, so you explain by a description what you want to do. You have different type of links. The most used will be the first one, action on variable event. This one means you will look after a change of status of one variable of AppVision to do actions. So the change of status of a variable will be the trigger. On condition is to allow you to create a free expression. I mean, for example, if you want to look after an alarm on one area or on one group, as you can see on the left menu, one area and one group is not a variable. So we cannot use the first link, okay, the first type variable event. So in that case, we will use execute action on condition, and the condition will be an alarm on the area or an alarm on the group, thanks to the properties alarm of areas and groups. So once you have your trigger, you choose, once you have the type of your, link, you choose the trigger. The trigger, here, I have to choose a variable. So we provide you a quick window link to be able to add your variable, which will be your trigger. So the next step is what? Is to choose for which status you want to do your alarm. So here, AppVision will display you all the status for this variable, but also some keywords like alarm on, alarm off, alarm acknowledgement. So these are other triggers. So once you have your trigger, the next step is to create your action. So we propose you different type of action. For example, to command another variable, okay? To command a preset of a camera, and also to interact with the client side of your project. The client side is the interface. So here, what I want to do as an action when I have an alarm on my detector 1 is to load a camera inside a specific container. So I will choose this one, load a document on a remote client. A remote client can be my local client or another one. So once you choose this, you just need to fill the different fields here. So the client name will be the name of your machine, okay, the Windows name of your machine, or localhost if you are in local like me. Window number, you know that AppVision is working with different windows, so you have to specify in which window you want to perform your action. Then the name of the container you want to manage. So me, I gave a specific name to my container. Okay, as you did see, my container is inside the synoptic. So I did use an object container directly inside the synoptic. And I had the possibility to change the name of my container, and my container, I did change the name to container cam for camera, not Cameron. Okay. And document name, here you specify which document you want to display in this container. A document can be alarm list, event history, etc. Or a document can be a synoptic, but also a document can be a CCTV stream. And the CCTV stream in the AppVision way is to do a link to the camera variable. And that's all. So this is how you can create your links. The link has two parts, trigger and action. That's all. And thanks to that, we did the pop-up of the camera inside this specific container. I can show you another one. For example, as we do an action to load the camera inside the container, we can use another link to do the action to clear the container, to remove the camera from the container. So here you can see this second link is about alarm off trigger on the zone 1 to perform a script, which is to clear the container of the window 1 of my client station called localhost. Okay. Okay, so now I will switch. So let me switch back to another example. So I come back to the client. So this is the typical alarm management you have inside AppVision. So the next one I want to show you is the workflow. So the workflow, to remember, let me show you what is the workflow procedure inside the client. So here we will get an alarm from this boat entering in a restricted area. And when you acknowledge, instead to display instruction like PDF file or something else, we display what we call the workflow. And in the workflow, you will create different pages with different items. So here it's an item to ask if it's a false alarm or not. And depending on what I will answer in this first page, I will make a link to another page or to an action or to my workflow procedure. So I will show you the workflow procedure. Here, if I say no, my condition is no. So I go to display a second page. So this is my second page, and also I have different things to fill. These fields can be mandatory. I will show you where you can set this. And you can perform actions when you want inside the workflow. So now let me show you where this is created and how we do the link. For the workflow, you have two steps. The first one is to create your pages. So remember, in my workflow, I have two pages. One to ask if it's a false alarm or not. Okay, so here I have an item with a text, a description, okay, of my item. And I can create a selection box. So here my selection box is yes or no. And you can see the yes is separated with the no with a semicolon. So this is how we create a combo box. And after that, you can say that the selection is mandatory or not. You can display validation. It can be also mandatory. You can display also the command part, to write some text, some free text. This one can be mandatory also. My second page, remember, I had two items, this one and this one. So is that a friend of foe? And is that a boat, a man, a drone, etc. So here you create your different pages in the instruction menu, okay, with different items. Then you will create your graphic workflow. So you add a new workflow. So graphically, this is my workflow. This is a page. You see, the rectangle is a page. This is my first page, okay? So you can also add a condition to display the first page. So a condition can be, typically, it can be a timetable. You can say, okay, only during the night I want to use a workflow management. Otherwise, it will be a standard alarm like the other one. And then you display this page. After that, you can see two branches here. So you can create different branches as you want. So here I have two branches. I go in one branch if my condition is true, and on another one if it's false. Okay. So if my condition is true, so here if it's true, it means no, because it's different of yes. I check if the value of my selection is not yes, okay? This means is not, okay? So if it's not yes, it means it's no. I go directly to my action, and an action can be any action you can perform in AppVision scripting, okay? So to pop up cameras, to send a preset, to command another variable, etc., to send an email, because we have also a mail scripting method, etc. So it can be any action, okay? This is a script tab, okay, actually. Otherwise, if my condition is not true, I will go on the other branch. The other branch will display the second page, okay? And after, so in my example, I have no restriction about what is written in this page, no condition. But after, you see, I did another action and to finish it. That's all. So this is how you create the workflows. You have two parts. And after that, to make a link with a variable, so you can link a workflow to multiple variables. So to choose that, in my example, it's here. Instead of writing an instruction here, I tick the flag workflow and I select the workflow in the list. Okay, so here I have only one, so I have only one workflow displayed, but you can say, okay, for this variable, the instruction will be linked to this workflow. Next step, come back to the client. In the present, we have other things we can do with alarm management. One of them is to be able to modify the severity of the same alarm for different conditions. So it's like a little bit, like in Matrix or Inception. I mean, we will get the alarm event and we will modify it during the alarm process before displaying it. So it's like we stop the time to look after the alarm event, to modify it, and then to display it. So here, my alarm, here I have an alarm. My alarm is a low threat, okay? Because it's only seen by one radar. When I'm seen by two radars, we use the same alarm. This is the same alarm, but we just modify the severity. So this is possible by, as say David, by writing a script to be able to modify the alarm and to change the alarm itself. It's not creating another alarm with the value of the first alarm. No, it's the same alarm we can manipulate, we can modify. So this is what we call correlation in AppVision. The new part you will get in version 4.6 for alarm management will be what we call the scenario. So you already know what are the links. Okay, so most of you use a lot the links. So we did see an example with the links. Our next wish, our next step is to make them more user-friendly, to give more power to links. So we did create scenario which will give you more possibilities. And one of them is to directly manage the scenario from the cloud station. So here I have a list of scenario and I can decide, okay, I can decide to start them or stop them. So here, this example has been done to make a selection of a path to take a prisoner and to send him to the drop zone, okay? So you select the path you want to use and what are the different scenarios. A scenario needs one or more than one trigger, so trigger can be different. My trigger is to swipe my badge on my room, and in my scenario, I have 15 seconds to badge on the next room. Okay. Here you can see we did switch from one scenario to another one. I will show you because in my scenario, I request to start another scenario inside one scenario. So this can be useful. And if I'm not swiping my card for 15 seconds on the next on the next door, here in my scenario, I open alarm list. So it's something like any action can be performed here. Okay, so you can do what you want thanks to the action of AppVision. It's just to show that an action can be performed when you leave the condition of your scenario. So now let me show you how are done the scenario in the configurator. Come back to the configurator. So you will see that with the version 4.6, you will get a new menu, which is called scenario. This one will make you able to create your own scenario. So this will come in addition to the links. Okay, as David said, it's the first version of our scenario. The scenario will be improved in the time. Okay, so thanks to your feedback. So it will be useful for us that you use scenario and give us what you think about them. So scenario will be more graphic, okay, than the link. Scenario, you can, when you create a new scenario, you can add multiple triggers if you want. You can add different triggers for the same scenario. So, you know, it's like previously I did show you the workflows. For a workflow can be started from different variables. So here's the same thing. You can have multiple triggers for a scenario and also a manual trigger from the cloud station. And in the scenario, we provide you different boxes. different boxes, sorry. These boxes are here to give you possibility to create conditions, okay, to create loops, okay. So I will wait for my 15 seconds. So here you can see that in my example, my scenario, I begin by an action, okay. So my action actually here was to set a value of a variable to change some display settings. And you can link your different scenario with, the different boxes are linked with arrows like this. And then I enter in my loop, my 15-second loop, okay? And I will leave my loop only if the condition box is not true. So my condition box was to check if I did swipe on my second reader, okay? If not, I will leave my condition box, but nothing is linked to my condition box. So I will stay in my loop box for 15 seconds. And after that, I will perform my action, which was to open the alarm list, to change the value of a variable, and also after that, to exit of the scenario. In my condition, if my condition is true, I will do what is inside my condition. And here, you can see that we provide you the possibility to start another scenario from one scenario. So this is how has been created the scenario of the demo vertical. We had one scenario for each, I would say, part of the path, and we switch from one scenario to another one, thanks to the condition of the badge granted, 10 is granted, on the next reader. So this is what we can say about a scenario. So you can create your different scenario, activate them or not, to make them unique, okay? Or to make you able also to start your different scenario from the client station part. So David, are you here?
Yeah.
Do you want to add some information?
No, I think that's as usual. It has to be used by partners. We try to make it as simple as it could be in the frame time that we had. The idea of a scenario is really to be a toolbox, because we know that a lot of end users want to they really write. We see specification where they write specific scenarios to manage this particular alarm or this particular event. They wanted to manage it in a specific way, and we thought it was difficult to. The feedback we had from some partners that sometimes it was really difficult doing this with the link engine and the workflows, because it was a large, big scripting part was necessary to do that. It was possible because in AppVision quite everything is possible, but it was possible only with the scripting. That's why Jean-Michel and the team decided to create the scenario features to help people to create those kind of things that we see more and more in specifications. That I think that's the main comment I can do on this. As usual, we don't have on-the-shelf features to answer to this type of request. We have a toolbox that help us to bring any answer to end user request, and that's the mindset of AppVision. I saw that there's some questions that were raised during your intervention, Nicolas. So I suggest that I read them and you bring the answer. From Rick, is it just PDF file or that we can add to alarm management, or can we also link other file types?
Only PDF or HTML.
Okay. But if you have needs, give your feedback and we will see maybe how in the future we can integrate them. Is severity also achieved with the alarm report? I would say I will leave you answer. Sorry, Nicolas.
So, but try to get the meaning of the question.
But I think that what we want to know is that the severity level of an alarm is also stocked or within the alarm report. I will say everything that happened in AppVision is in the database, so it can be in the alarm report.
Or maybe the question is about does the alarm report is a trigger to display or not does the severity is the trigger to display the report? The answer is no. Here, when you choose to display or to request, a report for an alarm, it's for the alarm itself. It doesn't depend on the severity level. The severity level is not a trigger to ask for alarm report or not. In that case, we need to, for the moment, for example, to create a second variable with alarm, and the trigger will be the severity level.
Rick give us, he really meant is the severity saved with the report, which I would say yes.
Yes, you get all the details of an alarm when you...
Can we escalate unattended alarms to another operator after a predefined time?
Sorry, can we escalate?
Unattended alarms, which were unacknowledged alarms to another operator after a predefined time, which means if an alarm stays as it is without any acknowledgement or nobody taking care of it, can we define a time after which this alarm is automatically transferred to another operator?
By script, we can do that, because by script we can transfer an alarm to another user. But the alarm escalation severity is here to manage the display of this alarm to a different user profile, because you can filter a user profile on a specific severity level. So it means you will filter the alarm list of one user profile to some alarm severity list.
Yeah.
But if you want to dedicate one alarm to someone, so it means to transfer one alarm to someone, for the moment you have to do it by script. So you can use the severity level as a trigger to do the transfer to another user.
Okay, but if you don't have escalation, I
Yes.
think the question is maybe the question was if you don't have severity escalation after a predefined time, can you automatically transfer to someone else because maybe the operator is overloaded and has already too many alarms to manage, maybe because he didn't see the alarm?
Yes, but as I said, only by script.
Only by script. Okay.
By script, you know when alarm appears, so you can, for example, start a timer. After 3 minutes, if it's not acknowledged, what you can do is to use our method to transfer the alarm to another user. But for the moment, it's not done automatically by AppVision. You have to do it by script, but it's possible.
How can we have a hotspot video window on any alarm coming from PIDS or IDS system?
So to do what? To do a pop-up?
Okay. Pop-up of the...
As I told you, when you create, so by link, for example, when you create a link, you can choose, I will add a new link, okay. When you create a link, you can choose the type, and the type can be a condition, and the condition can be, for example, you have a intrusion group, okay. You can say, my condition is to get an alarm on my group. So it means here the trigger will be alarm on your PIDs or alarm on your access control doors or etc. And to perform your action. So you can use the links to do it and to say, okay, I want to pop up this camera only if it's PID alarm. And in expression, you can put end condition or condition. Okay. So I think you can do it directly in the links. You can put your condition in this expression to perform your action.
It's clear for me, so I hope that if it's clear for me, it's clear
Okay.
for anyone. How can we fuse from Shashi? How can we fuse two alarms from two different systems and based on the true status of both alarm trigger and action?
So to do correlation. So
Clearly, it's correct. I think so.
Is
That's
yes, it's what we do in the script of the prison. Script of the prison is done to manage an alarm, two alarms. An alarm has been seen by one radar, and the same alarm has been also seen by another radar system, and we do the script thanks to these two alarms, but which are, as I said before, only one alarm. So in fact, we use two different systems to see at the same alarm, and we manage this alarm.
Yeah.
This is the correlation.
Hi, Nicholas Shashir.
Yes.
My question is related with the perimeter security. What happens on the perimeter? Sometimes the customer install two different systems, such as like radar or PIDs, and they want to have alarm only if the condition of both the systems is true.
Yeah.
So
okay. So you have different ways. An easy way. If I come back to the variable, because it's an important thing also to know. So normally we see that when we do training, but an alarm can be done thanks to a condition, and the condition can be that there is already an alarm on another variable. You know what I mean, Sashi? So here, imagine it's my alarm of my PID. I will say I will generate an alarm on this PID only if I have an alarm on another variable. So only if the value of another variable. So for example, I will say.
Understand, Nicholas.
It's clear?
Yep. Yes, clear.
Okay,
thank you.
So you can use this, it's easy. And also here you can, by default, do a link to a timetable. So you can say, I will do an alarm only if my timetable T14, sorry, equal 1. This is another type of condition, and you can have multiple conditions, okay, and or etc. So it's a shortcut to avoid to create links for that.
How can we configure the system to have videos only on the second screen, and how can we create a custom layout of our choice? I may bring part of the answer. You have to create a custom layout of your choice, because that's when you do the configuration and the client configuration, you have to create your layout. We suggest you some layout, but you have an option to create your own layout.
Yes, but also when you create your environment, what we call an environment is the position of your window in the client. So you can open multiple windows of AppVision on one client station. And for each of this window, you can set a different type of layout. A layout contains containers. So what you can do is to specify a dedicated container as alarm video container by default, and all the camera linked to your, for example, intruder variable will be displayed in this specific container. Or if you use the link we did use, remember, when I did show you the link, when I did display you this link, you have here the window number and the container name of this window number. So you can say, okay, I want to pop up the camera in the container C2, C3, C4 of the window number 2. That's all.
So I saw that you answered the first question. How can we create a custom layout of our choice? I think I was saying that you have two within AppVision, but
we have an application notes to create custom layouts. Okay, you just need to follow it. It's application notes you can find in the documentation of AppVision. Or also you have this example on our support portal.
In links property action can be action in multiple action lists simultaneously.
Yes. In the links, when you do an action, in fact, we get the possibility to create your own script, and here you do all the lines of your different actions.
Can we send action to a group of client users?
In the links directly, it will be not possible directly in the link, because when you, for example, when you can do it by script. Yeah. So here you can do your action with, for example, so yes, you can do it here. You can say if environment dot machine name equal my machine. I do this, etc., etc. So yes, you can do it here, but you cannot write. You cannot write, for example, here. You cannot add multiple clients. Okay, so it's only one, or you have some keywords, I think, but I'm not sure. But I think this keyword can work, but it will be done for all. Otherwise, you have to do multiple links. It's up to you. You can use this field, or also if you use the script tab, in that case, it's like a script. So here you can put your condition on the machine name to do your action. Yeah. So yes, you can.
I think that with AppVision, the problem is not if we can, say, is how we can.
No, but I did show.
Yeah. I know that. I don't see any additional question. I want to link from Florin. I want to link to specific users, not machine.
It's the same thing. You know, in AppVision, you can, if $u dot name, full name, etc. So it's a user link. So here you can check the username, user profile, user login.
I really thought that it would be a technical webinar and that we would need you to answer the question and to do the things. I was right doing that. Okay, just to inform also people that's on the support portal, I think that Nicolas and his team, they provide you some scripts that are available to anyone who has access to the portal. Some example that you can use. So don't forget to go there, because each time they have to develop a script to answer a question. They stock it, they document it, and they put it on the support portal. So it's also interesting. It's interesting for anyone, and if some people want to send us scripts, interesting scripts they have created that could help other people of the community, it's also interesting to put this on this portal. So don't hesitate to go on the web portal and also to feed it, because it's so like it that all the community is stronger and competing with better weapons against competition. Of course, people who have attended the webinar will receive. It's just a question of time for Sophie to prepare the video, and so don't worry. You will receive the video and maybe the small presentation, even if this one is not so interesting. So there is no more question. We will close the webinar. I want to thank everyone. We were a lot of people around this webinar. We want to thank you for this one and all the previous one you attended. Really, see you soon. We are going to organize new webinars in the coming weeks. We keep you informed through newsletters and LinkedIn page. Until then, take care of you. Keep safe, and the best for you and all your families. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.